We are so back, baby.
Oh, yeah.
We are
Like
back.
we never left.
Listen, first of all, so this is the thing. The last video we did, I had made some comments about how I looked at Tennessee's tape and I didn't see it and all these things. And I had went back and I had seen in the comment section, because I like to check people's scores and predictions. Somebody told me that I was being a homer, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, I was right. I was right. And I am, listen, sometimes I'm a homer, but for the most part, when we doing this analyst thing, I try to put my biases aside. I just like to call a spade a spade. And I said I didn't see it from them on the receiver side. I think when I think about Ohio State, I think if a team has to have certain things to beat this Ohio State team. And one of the main things for me is they have to have some wide receivers, like some guys that can go. And I told you, when I turned the tape on for Tennessee, I absolutely didn't see it. They had the one guy who I think the Buckeyes kind of knocked him out of the game, Thornton Jr. So that's why I said what I said about that. Now, I thought my prediction, I said 21-17. Earlier in that week, I said the Buckeyes will win by 2 scores. I wasn't expecting 42-17. I'm not gonna lie. Like that caught me off guard. But the performance was so good that a lot of people walked away from that game saying, where was this 3 weeks ago? That was like the number one thing that a lot of people were saying. Dustin, when you saw this game and you saw this unbelievable performance, what did you think?
What I think was everything that I thought going into the game, which was that Ohio State was a much better team. I thought that Ohio State would win against Tennessee. I thought, and I still think, that Ohio State will beat Oregon.
Yeah.
And they will be in the mix for the college football championship. You know, like this is and I hate to be like that guy, but it was not Michigan. You know, so like anybody other than Michigan, I feel like I'm not worried about.
I agree. I think people got to realize that we have a Wolverine problem. That's the problem. We
do.
We can't beat them right now. Everybody else, there is no right now mentally. Like when we play the Wolverines, like they get in a certain mode. Everybody else is just ball. And when we playing just ball, like we can compete with the best of them. The play calling was phenomenal. The defense was lights out. They got takeaways. They got sacks. Some of the things that we've been criticizing this defense about for 3 years, actually 4 years, that they didn't get takeaways and they didn't get sacks. They showed up and checked every box. And then offensively, you see a Jeremiah Smith. He gets the one-on-one. Boom, check. I don't care what the play call is. He's one-on-one. Throw it out there. Every time it's a touchdown. So I love Chip Kelly aggressiveness. It's like they remember what they have. And secondly, I think these players, I know Ryan Day receives a lot of flack and I understand why people are upset by it, but one thing I can't deny is that these players do love and care about him because they on social media, they see the stuff that's being said. You know how he probably was walking around. That man did a bunch of interviews and had to keep addressing the loss and what happened in the loss. And I think that these players, obviously that the players saw what he was going through and they wanted to try to end that and put that to bed. So I actually give the players a lot of respect for coming to their coach's aid like that.
Yeah, and I also like the way that it seemed internally, the team, the players, the coaches were not affected by all of the noise on the outside. And that was what was concerning. And that I think that's a big reason why a lot of fans were nervous to even go to the game. Like you saw the stuff before the game. It's like people are selling their tickets. It's like it looks like Knoxville North, you know? And I'll be honest, like looking at social media, just kind of scrolling through before the game. I'm thinking, boy, man, this could be ugly. You know, like we could let Tennessee come into our place, like kick our ass, knock us out of the playoffs in our building. And our fans gave away the I'm just like, I play through these narratives in my mind and I'm like, man, that would be so brutal. And then I'm like, it ain't happening.
Yeah,
It's not.
I
It's
know
not.
a lot of people were talking about the fans like selling their tickets, but the reason I thought the fans were selling their tickets wasn't because of that. I thought that they didn't believe in the team. I thought that they were selling their tickets because they was like, I'm gonna save my money for the Rose Bowl. Like I know they're gonna handle that business, so I'm just gonna like Tennessee ain't been to the shoot. Like they played, I think Ohio State played it one time outside of Saturday.
Yeah,
So
it was a
that was like,
Lucas
of
game.
course, they want to come see the shoe. A lot of people was like, well, I'm getting ready to go to Pasadena because I know they're going to take care of business. So I think that, to me, is why people were selling their ticket. If I can make some extra coin, why not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm with you, man, and I think that people did. Although I think at the last moment the tickets were not going for that much.
No, it was like
Uh,
$92 or something like that.
yeah, so I mean, you could get in. Oh man, I'll say this, dude. I don't know about you, but like I was frozen watching these games. Literally, let's turn my TV down. I was watching all these games. Even the Texas game looked a little bit cold down in Austin. I'm like, dang, I haven't left my couch, and it's going to take me like 2 days to thaw out.
Yeah,
You know,
I was out there. I did a hit section for the news down here, Channel 10 News down here with Dom Taberi.
my guy.
We did that Friday, and it was 38, windy and raining on the field because we did it inside the stadium. We was on the field. And I was sitting there, my feet got cold, my toes got cold, and I'm just like, it's like this now. Tomorrow is and they don't stand it. Now I talked to Bobby. Bobby Carpenter went to the game. Bobby said he said it wasn't that bad. He said because it wasn't windy or anything like that. The 28 was not that bad, but
okay.
I'd rather be sitting in my nice warm place and watch it from TV, which I enjoy doing. So
Absolutely.
I'm not, but I understand why fans would want to go though, because it was the first playoff game in Ohio history. It's the first game played in December at Ohio Stadium. So like it's a lot of key moments, but I enjoyed it from the couch. And now, have you seen the Kirk Herbstreit scrutiny? He's like getting a lot of.
I mean, yeah. The answer is yes. I've seen it, and it's. I mean, it is what it is. I think that. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think so. Now, so the thing is, you had Herbie's thoughts, and then you had like Nick Saban before the game. And this is my thing: is that you can become too far removed, like Nick Saban. Nick Saban said they need to quit all this negative BS. Need to quit
I
all
love
this.
that, by the way.
The fans need to quit this negative BS and all that stuff. And I'm mad that nobody said to him. So listen, Nick, you at Alabama, you playing the Iron Bowl, you lose 4 straight years, and you haven't won a national championship. You don't think those fans would be mad at you?
Of course.
Like that, like I think that he's not being realistic to why. Like they saying the fans is being unreasonable, but I think that they're being disingenuous to understanding why fans feel the way that they feel. You know?
I just don't think, Tyvis, it's fair to call out fans. Yes, fans are dumb. The verbiage that Herbie used was the lunatic
fringe or something like that.
I mean, yeah, of course, that's part of it. But like, let's be honest, that's part of also what makes college football great. You know, like having these crazy fans that just lose their mind over their football teams. Like that's a big part of why we have jobs, frankly, why we got scholarships and why these guys are making money, like the NIL and dude, it all is encompassing of what makes college football so great. Yeah, there are idiots. I think fans are idiots for crossing out the M, and I'm an alum, dude. But whatever, do whatever makes you feel good.
I can't believe you saying that right now. I don't even know who you are anymore.
You know exactly who I am. You know exactly who I am, and I am going to be authentic till the day I die. I promise you that. So
no, I mean fan is short for fanatic. So I don't understand why people act. Yeah, I embrace it all, and I understand why the fans act the way that they act. I just think it's crazy that they're acting like they don't know why the fan is acting like. That's the part that bothers me. Like you know exactly why. You would do the same thing if you was invested like that. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm with you though. I don't never really talk down on the fan unless they cross the line. Like if they sending death threats and stuff like that. All right, yeah, like you tripping. Like that's too far. But like as far as them wanting change because they're not happy with the results for a team that projected to win the national championship, 21-point favorite, and all those things. I mean, I understand why they feel the way they feel. Like that's the part that's crazy to me that they didn't see that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, hey, at the end of the day, the Buckeyes took care of business, and I think they got everybody back on board, at least from the
Oh
fans'
yeah,
perspective. I mean,
yeah.
dude,
That's why I said we back.
it was real funny, man. I was at a little birthday party on Saturday night prior to the game, and most of the people at the party were Buckeye fans or alum, and we ended up going back to a friend's house to watch the game, and it was, we were all a little nervous, to watch the start of the game because everyone was like, I don't know. We have one buddy who actually went to Tennessee, and his family went to Tennessee, and he's wearing a Volunteer shirt, and he's like all confident and cocky. And then, boy, he didn't say a gosh darn word about 5 minutes into the game.
That's what I was saying. Like I understand how, I guess people didn't know what to expect. And what shocked me, what took me back the most was the fast start. Like that's not something that they did all year. Even when they were quote unquote a top team in the country, they always started off slow. And this game, it was like from the whistle blow at the beginning to the end, like they kept their foot on the gas. And to me, now the challenge is now we all know you can do it. Like we know you just put it on tape that you can do it. Don't get me wrong. Teams that you playing from here on out will be a little bit tougher, but I need to see that same effort. If they send that same effort, there's nobody that can beat that team. I don't care what you say. There's no team that can beat, even Oregon, even though they lost to Oregon before. It wasn't this team. They didn't have that defense wasn't playing this well. So like it's so much good that they put on tape that yes, I don't know what the odds is or who's favored to win it all, but I bet you they took a significant jump because of it. I mean, they're favored. I know Oregon was favored before, and now you go into this game, Ohio State's favored by like 2.5 points going into this game. So there you go. And I fully expect them to beat Oregon. Like if they don't beat Oregon, like it's not the end of the world. I'll be upset because like this is a very talented team and they have all the components to win that game. I don't know how they, I ain't gonna say I don't know how they don't. After losing to them 32-31 with the worst defensive performance I've seen at Ohio State in years, since probably the last time they played Oregon, I don't see y'all guys significantly better. The scheme is better. The pass rush is better. Y'all got a takeaway now. So, like, yeah, go get it done. Go get it done. There is no excuse. That's what I'm saying. There's no excuse for this team. There's nothing you can look at and be like, oh, well, they ain't got such and such. Because coming into the Tennessee game, my biggest concern was the offensive line. And it wasn't necessarily the interior. Everybody was talking about the interior line. I was worried about the tackles because you got the one kid who's going to be a top 15 pick, and then you got the other kid who's grading like one of the best in the SEC.
Yeah.
So it was like I was worried about our tackles, and it was a complete non-factor. Like
they were fine.
That
Will
kid
Howard had all day to throw.
That's what I'm saying. Like the kid that's going to be the James Pierce Jr., he's going to be a top 15 pick. They didn't say his name not one time. He wasn't even close. And he was going up against a dude who was a left guard that got pushed to left tackle. Like, so yeah, to me, if they're going to play like that, there's no excuse.
Listen, I thought the line played great. You're right. That James Pierce Jr. kid who's going to be in the NFL, like he was very underwhelming in this game overall. I mean, the Buckeyes ran the ball well. They ran for damn near 5 yards a pop. You know what I mean? And then, of course, like overall, they averaged 7.4 yards a play.
Yeah.
Which is pretty impressive considering that's a yard more than any other opponent that Tennessee's played this year.
That running back room, Travion. Listen, it's been a reason why they had to go out and get Quinshawn like that because this is the freshest that Travion has been in his career. He's usually hurt at this point. And the fact that he's fresh, like that, he gonna make himself some money. He might mess around and end up in like the second or third round. Like that's how he might get drafted. Because he got all the intangibles. He's got the home run hitting speed, but like for some odd reason, it's like never been put all together. He's finding a way to put it together right now. And if you do it against these teams that's coming up, like, well, I mean, now you're going up against the best in the country and you still having these type of games and having that type of explosiveness. Yeah, he gonna move up the draft boards for sure.
Man, I can't wait for this New Year's Day, Oregon, Ohio State Rose Bowl, like a classic Pac-12 Big Ten matchup, 5:00 on New Year's Day. Like, this is what's so great is this was such a shitty weekend for college football playoffs.
Yeah, what did you think of? What do you think about the first round? You against all that? What was your thought?
I mean, I think it was a perfect storm for bad games. You know, like there were some bad matchups.
Well, that I said again, I said this was another thing that was in the comment section. I said it's only like 4 or 5 teams that I think can win it all. The rest of them is irrelevant. And I swear I doubled down on that statement. This is what happens when because everybody got in their mind like, oh, the 12, I want to see an under or one of those teams that's 11 or 12 pulling upset. Like, this ain't basketball. Like, that, it's levels to it. And you're not going to do that. It's just not going to happen. Not right now. I'm not saying that it won't happen one day because I'm sure it will. But right now, as college football sits, it's not. This ain't the year for that. Like, it's only you know what teams can legitimately win it all. And it ain't 8 teams, it ain't 12 teams. It's only like 4 right now. And that's what's prevailing right now. That's why you've seen these one-sided games like that. It wasn't even close because some of these teams don't even deserve, they have no business in there. That's why, to me, 14, maybe if you wanted to put it to a 16 playoff, you can sell me on that. But 12 is way too many. But I get why you did it for money reasons. But
we've got to do a better job with the seeding. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. We've got to do a better job with the seeding.
What seeding would have changed? Like, you talking about like the first, like the homes, the buys?
Just all of it. Like, let's determine who gets in, and like who gets in could still remain the same as it stands right now. I just think
I don't have a problem with that. But I'm the top conference champions like. Arizona State and Boise State should have been playing this past week. Like, that's a matchup that would have been more favorable for a lot of these teams.
Yeah, for sure.
But like, you putting them against these big dogs, and they stand no chance. Even this upcoming week slate of games, Arizona State is like minus or plus 14, and the other one, Boise, like plus 10.5. So like, even Vegas knows they don't stand a chance.
No, you're not wrong. It's going to be fascinating to see. I think it's going to be a hell of a lot better once we get into these quarterfinals. But yeah, man, I don't know. I thought it was cool to see these on-campus games, though.
No, I enjoyed the atmosphere for sure. I thought the same thing. I love the fact that, you can see these college campuses because they picked the right ones. Penn State, Texas, Ohio State, and Penn State, Texas, Ohio State, and what was the other one? Texas
was home game.
Yeah. So all like them is atmosphere wise, like everybody loves those and they sell out well. So they picked the right home atmospheres for the games, but the opponents, the most competitive game was Clemson and Texas. Like that game
wasn't that competitive.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but it started off really good. I can't take that away. It started off really good.
Sure. I'll give you that.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens moving forward. So when you think about Oregon, since we're in the Rose Bowl, what scares you? Is there anything that scares you about Oregon?
No, I mean they're what scares me is they're a really good team. They're unblemished. They've been battle tested this year. They've won against a lot of teams that we faced. They beat Michigan at their place, like they beat us. Like they should be coming in pretty confident into this matchup that they're the number 1 team in the country. Like this is I mean, it's not the national championship, but in their minds they probably feel like they got screwed because Ohio State, I would say, looking across the board based off of like who's healthy and what you feel about these other teams, I think Ohio State probably should have been the second best team going into this, at least in terms of like odds and betting and things like that. Not necessarily maybe deserving to be the second seed, you know what I mean? But like I do think Ohio State is the toughest matchup for Oregon. And if Ohio State can get this dub on the first, then they're going to be in a catbird seat to win the whole damn thing.
But see, that's the thing. That's where, like, I feel like Oregon getting screwed out of this whole thing because why is they playing Ohio State? Like, they should be playing, I don't know. Yeah, like something like that. Like that to me, that's where the problem stands. Like, what incentive did you have from being the number one seed? Nothing. You get the hardest first game of the season.
Right?
I'd be upset. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, you might as well be like Penn State. Penn State just I see y'all in the semi. It's like that's kind of where they kind of cruising to right now. Like that. So that to me is the part that they gotta fix. The number one seed gets no incentives for being the number one seed.
It's going to be tough, man. And those guys, they don't get this game at home either. I know they're a West Coast team, but you damn well know that the Buckeyes love the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, they do. They're gonna have a decent crowd, but Ohio State definitely gonna show up and show out. The only thing about this team, about Oregon, that scares me about Ohio State is not the wide receivers. It's really their O-line. Because I said if their O-line stops, excuse me, if their O-line stops our pass rush, then that's when the wide receivers become a problem. You know, Dylan Gabriel last time stood back there forever. And if they don't find a way to get a pass rush on him, then it's gonna be a long game. And he's gonna stand back there and he's gonna dice the secondary up. So it's gonna be a big game on Jack and JT. They gotta find a way to get it done because they no-showed them and the rest of that pass rush no-showed the last time they played. And to me, that was the difference in the game.
1,000% agree. And then the question also is like, can Ohio State just do a better job with the back end in terms of the matchups and then like just having a little like situational awareness of the game? I think that's going to be huge for them this go around against the Ducks.
Say that again.
No, I just think that they got to have some more situational awareness. Like, remember that play like right before halftime? Like, there's no way they should have got that last touchdown with the Ducks. I mean, there's just
you talking about the one on Denzel when they threw Well, it was a lot of confusion. It was a lot of confusion. And I think the thing is you got to simplify this game plan. Like when we played Oregon, the game plan became simple because, well, they was a tempo team back when I was playing them. I don't think they that much of a tempo team now, but I think you can't think on the football field. If you do a lot of thinking, you're gonna be slow. And I think that Oregon did some motion and stuff like that to kind of confuse what was going on to get guys to play off. I think you got to play a zone and allow and rely on your pass rush. Like to me, don't give up the explosive plays. And that Tez Johnson and that Big Ten championship, he went crazy in that game. And you can't allow him to have that type of moment, you know. So the pass rush is big. The secondary needs to stay on top and not give up nothing deep. And when it comes to Tez Johnson, give him his respect. Maybe you have, not double him, but maybe you have a robber. You know, you had as one of those safeties drop in the hole because he likes to go across the middle. Maybe when he does an over route, one of those safeties picks it up and robs it. Like that might be the game plan that I would go with if I was the Buckeyes.
I just want to see more shots down the field, and let's not be conservative. Why not take advantage of all the playmakers we have? I was like watching the Tennessee game, and I'm looking at my friends. I'm like, I'm pretty sure these guys were there for a Michigan game. They were pretty sure they were suited up. Pretty sure.
Listen, it's a mental thing, man. Like I don't know what it is about that team, but right now we can't get out our own way when it thinks about that team. But I agree with you. They should. But then again, I also still wonder how healthy was Will Howard after that? Because he was 7 for 8 before he got hurt, and then that's when things like they stopped throwing the ball after the hit. So maybe the hit had more damage than anybody willing to say, and that could be.
That is something we'll never know.
No, yeah, they're never gonna say it. Maybe when Will's done playing like 5 years down the road, somebody asks him.
And honestly, dude, I don't really care. I mean, I care about the kid. I shouldn't say like that. But I don't want to, it's not going to make me feel better about the loss. If anything, I'm going to be mad that the coaches didn't know, or if they did know, they put him back out there. That's going to piss me off more. Hello, sweetheart.
Yeah, she's, yeah, but I agree. But I think for the sake of not having that conversation where you have to argue with, well, the coaches shouldn't have put him back out there. I think it's best that we never find out. Right. We never find out. But yeah, that to me is the difference. Will Howard, by the way, man, he's a dude, man. That guy was
dude looked like a player in that game.
And on this Tennessee game, if he plays like that, which when they played Oregon, he was still dialed in that game as well. But I don't know, man. He got all the intangibles to be a championship quarterback. So I fully expect him. I don't think this is a one-off thing. And I was listening to some sound today. He was saying, he said when he got the game plan for this Tennessee game, he was fired up. He said, don't get him wrong. He likes all the game plans, but this one, he was like, oh yeah, this is the one. So, and it showed. So hopefully going into that Oregon game, he has that same feeling.
Nice. Any plans for the holidays there, Tyvis?
I'll be traveling up to Worcester to do Christmas up there with my in-laws, see what Santa's gotten these kids since they've been pretty good this year. What about you?
Just chilling here with the kiddos, and then Christmas evening, the 25th. I'm driving up to Detroit. Got a bowl game on the 26th. Up in
who's playing?
Toledo and Pitt on Thursday.
Look at that. Is that like a even matchup?
Pitt's favored by 7. I think it's a little steep, but it's gonna be a good game. I think both teams kind of fell apart at the end of the year.
Yeah. Is Narduzzi still the head coach?
He is the head coach as of now.
Is he on the hot seat?
I think he was on the hot seat last year. You would think he'd be on the hot seat this year because they lost their final 5 games in a row because they were 7-0 and then they finished 7-5. But their quarterback got hurt, so it's hard to say.
Well, have a wonderful call on that.
Yeah, thanks, man.
We'll be back at y'all with another edition next week to get y'all ready for the Rose Bowl. And yeah, go Bucks.
Go Bucks. Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays and Merry Christmas.
That's right.